Man, I'm so bored right now. You ever feel like you've watched everything but nothing really grabs your attention anymore?
Oh, I totally get that. You know, there's this book I've been reading, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's not a movie, but trust me, it'll keep you on the edge of your seat.
A book? Okay, you've got my attention. What's it about?
It's about this crazy mystery that's been unsolved for 40 years. A young girl named Harriet Vanger disappeared from a private island during a family gathering. One moment she was there, and the next, gone. The island was locked down, no way out.
Wait, if the island was locked down, how could she just disappear? That doesn't add up.
I know, right? It's wild. No body was ever found, and here's the creepy part. Every year since her disappearance, her uncle, Henrik Vanger, receives a gift, a single pressed flower.
From who? That's unsettling.
No one knows, but Henrik is convinced it's from Harriet's killer, like some kind of sick reminder. So he hires a journalist, Mikael Blomkvist, to solve the case.
And he's supposed to figure it out after 40 years? What's left to find?
You'd think there wouldn't be anything left, but Blomkvist starts digging, and he uncovers secrets that go way beyond Harriet. The Vanger family has some seriously dark and dangerous skeletons in their closet.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What does he find?
So, Blomkvist, a journalist, is hired by an elderly man named Henrik Vanger, the head of the Vanger family. Henrik is convinced that his niece, Harriet Vanger, was murdered, despite the fact that the police closed the case years ago. Henrik believes someone in the family is responsible, but no one has ever been able to prove it. That's why he hires Blomkvist, hoping he can crack the case wide open.
Wait, so this isn't just a random investigation? Henrik thinks a family member is the murderer?
Exactly. Henrik's been obsessing over Harriet's disappearance for decades. He's been the patriarch of the family, and he knows something's off, but no one believes him. The police concluded it was a random abduction or an accident, but Henrik doesn't buy it. He's convinced that someone close to the family, someone with a lot of power, is hiding the truth. He wants Blomkvist to get to the bottom of it.
So, Henrik's basically using Blomkvist to dig up these dark secrets?
Yeah, but here's the catch. Blomkvist is also dealing with his own mess. He's just lost a defamation lawsuit against a powerful businessman named Hans-Erik Wennerström. Blomkvist was accused of publishing false information, and the case left his career in ruins. Henrik offers him a deal, a large sum of money, complete control over the investigation, and the promise that Blomkvist's reputation will be restored once he uncovers the truth. It's a tempting offer for Blomkvist, especially when he's got nothing left to lose.
So, Henrik is basically trying to get someone else to do his dirty work while getting revenge on the family, right?
In a way, yes. But Henrik's motivations go deeper than that. He genuinely believes that Harriet was murdered and that the truth is buried within the family. But he's also an old man, and this is his last shot at finding out what really happened. He's not just seeking justice for Harriet. He wants to expose the corruption and betrayal within his own family.
And that's when Blomkvist starts digging into the family, right? He must have thought he was going to uncover a scandal, not a dark web of secrets.
Exactly. And this is where things get dicey. Blomkvist starts going through family records, speaking to relatives, and looking for patterns. He uncovers the strange letters Harriet wrote, and then he finds the earlier disappearances of other girls. But it's not just about the missing girls anymore. It's about the family's involvement in something much bigger. Organized crime, money laundering, and illegal businesses. And the more he digs, the more he realizes that someone within the family is trying to stop him.
Wait, so someone in the family is behind all this? Who would go that far to hide something like this?
That's the question Blomkvist is trying to answer. As he digs deeper, he starts receiving threatening phone calls. One of the calls is so chilling, the voice on the other end tells him, "Stop looking into it, or you'll regret it." It's clear that someone from the family, or someone with close ties to the family, is trying to make sure the past stays buried.
So Blomkvist is really getting into dangerous territory. And who's trying to stop him? Could it be someone close to Henrik?
It could be. Blomkvist doesn't know yet, but the threats start escalating. There's a point where Blomkvist is followed home, and he starts to realize how far-reaching the Vanger family's power goes. The Vangers have influence everywhere, in business, in politics, and even in the police. And the more Blomkvist uncovers, the more dangerous it gets for him. Okay, so Blomkvist is getting deeper into the investigation, and things are starting to get really intense. At first, he thinks the Vanger family is just a group of eccentric rich people, but as he digs into their history, he starts realizing they're hiding something much bigger. He uncovers some documents that suggest one of the family members, Harold Vanger, has connections to Hans-Erik Wennerström, the same businessman Blomkvist was fighting in court.
Wait, so now there's a connection between the family and the guy who just destroyed Blomkvist's career? That's huge.
Exactly, and it gets even deeper. Blomkvist starts to think that Wennerström might be involved in something darker than just shady business deals. He suspects Wennerström might be connected to the Vangers' secrets, maybe even to the disappearances of the girls. So Blomkvist starts digging into Wennerström's past, and what he finds is beyond disturbing. There's a pattern of corruption, money laundering, and even human trafficking, all traced back to the Vanger family.
That's insane to think all this time. He thought the family was just hiding a murder, but it's this whole web of illegal activity?
Right. And that's when Blomkvist realizes just how far the corruption runs. But here's the twist. As he gets closer to uncovering the truth, the threats against him get more direct. The Vanger family is trying to shut him down, and the pressure is mounting. Blomkvist starts receiving anonymous messages warning him to stop or else. But things take a scary turn when he's almost run off the road one night, barely escaping a car crash.
Someone's trying to kill him to keep this all hidden. But why doesn't he just back off? I mean, it sounds like he's risking his life here.
It's a mix of pride and justice. Blomkvist can't let this go. Blomkvist has been digging into the Vanger family's secrets for weeks, but he's hitting dead ends. He needs someone with skills he doesn't have, someone who can break into hidden files and track down the truth when no one else can. And that's where Lisbeth Salander comes in.
Okay, but who's Lisbeth? Why does he need her?
Lisbeth Salander. She's not your average hacker. Think of her as a digital ghost. She can get into places that are locked down tight. She's got skills that even the best hackers in the world envy. But she's also got a reputation. She doesn't trust easily, and definitely not journalists. So Blomkvist has to find a way to get to her.
So, how does he get to her? Doesn't seem like she's the type to just help out.
No, definitely not. Blomkvist knows he has to approach her carefully. He can't just send her a message asking for help. He has to make it seem like it's something that matters to her, something that'll get her attention. So he starts digging into her past, not for dirt, but to find a way to approach her.
That's a little creepy, isn't it?
It's a bit, yeah. But Blomkvist's got a job to do, and he knows she's his best shot. So he finally reaches out to her through a private message, talking about the Vanger family and how they might be connected to something much bigger. The Vangers have a history of shady dealings, and he knows Lisbeth might be interested in exposing that.
All right, so what does Lisbeth think about this? Does she even care?
At first? No. Lisbeth doesn't trust him, and she doesn't care about his case. She's a lone wolf, always staying off the radar. When Blomkvist approaches her, she's pretty skeptical. She's got her own demons to deal with, and doesn't want to get involved with a journalist, no matter how convincing he might be.
So she just says no? No interest at all?
Not exactly. She doesn't say no outright, but she doesn't say yes either. She throws him a challenge. She's skeptical, but curious. Blomkvist knows this is his only shot, so he keeps pushing. He tells her about the missing girls, about the Vanger family's past, and how it all ties into something much darker than anyone realizes.
So he's trying to get her to care about the case? What's in it for her?
Exactly. Blomkvist is smart. He tells her there might be something in it for her, too. It's not just about the Vangers or the missing girls, but about exposing a much bigger web of corruption. Blomkvist knows that Lisbeth hates injustice, especially when it's tied to the powerful elite, and that finally sparks her interest. But Lisbeth, she's not a simple ally.
I'm guessing she agrees, right?
She does, but only because she sees it as a challenge, not because she's suddenly on Blomkvist's team. Lisbeth agrees to help, but only on her own terms. She doesn't like taking orders, especially not from someone like Blomkvist. They're going to work together, but they're not exactly a team in the traditional sense.
So how do they work together?
They start investigating the Vanja family's secrets. Lisbeth digs into the digital world, hacking her way through encrypted files and tracking down hidden documents. Meanwhile, Blomkvist digs into the family's history, trying to connect the dots. They don't always get along, but they both know they need each other.
Sounds like a partnership made in chaos.
Exactly. They're both strong-willed and driven, but in completely different ways. Blomkvist's the journalist trying to bring everything to light, while Lisbeth's the hacker who'll do whatever it takes to expose the truth. And together, they start uncovering pieces of the puzzle that neither could have found on their own.
Subscribe for more content.